When it comes to survival, food is non-negotiable, period. If you're not thinking ahead and stocking up on essentials that can withstand the test of time, you're setting yourself up for failure. Inflation is soaring, supply chains are shaky, and the world isn't getting any more stable. The time to act is now. No excuses. You need foods that won't rot, spoil, or become useless even after years on your shelves. That's where survival foods that never expire come into play. These aren't some novelty items or trendy meal kits. They are practical, nutritious, and have the incredible ability to last practically forever. They are the survivalist's ultimate safety net. Whether you're dealing with economic collapse, natural disasters, or a simple trip to the grocery store gets too expensive, these foods have your back. Forget about relying on fragile systems to feed you. Stocking up on these foods is your best insurance policy against hunger and instability. Don't waste time debating whether this is necessary. It's necessary. These foods can make the difference between being prepared and being in panic mode. Think long-term security, think smart, and think now. These 12 foods aren't just staples, they're lifelines when everything else falls apart. 1. Salt, the timeless staple your pantry needs. Salt is not just any pantry item, it's survival gold. If you don't understand its value, you're already behind. This little mineral has been a game changer for centuries, both as a critical resource and a commodity. Start thinking about salt as more than just something to sprinkle on your fries. It's a powerhouse for survival. For starters, salt is unmatched when it comes to preserving food. Before refrigerators existed, salt was used to cure meat and fish, keeping them safe to eat for weeks or even months. Whether you're dealing with a power outage, supply chain breakdown, or simply want to stretch your resources, salt turns perishable protein into something much longer lasting. Add to that its seasoning capabilities, which make even the blandest rations edible, and its value skyrockets. Now here's the kicker. Salt doesn't go bad, ever. No expiration dates, no weird smells, and no fear of it losing its effectiveness. Store it in a dry, airtight container and it'll stay fresh and functional indefinitely. But here's the thing you need to remember. Keep it bone dry. Moisture is its kryptonite. A damp environment can lead to clumping or contamination. So, invest in good storage, or you're doing it wrong. It's not just a survival tool. It's been a symbol of value throughout history. Entire trade routes were established because of salt. It was even used as currency. Yes, this simple mineral was once worth more than gold in certain parts of the world. You can't argue with that kind of history backing up its importance. Bottom line, you need salt in your stockpile. Period. It's versatile, it lasts forever, and it has saved humanity countless times in the past. Underestimate it and you'll regret it. 2. Sugar, the sweet weapon against hunger. Sugar isn't just something to sweeten your coffee with. It's a survival food in its own right. And if you don't have it in your emergency stash, you're leaving yourself exposed. This isn't a matter of preference. It's about practicality. Why should sugar earn a spot in your long-term pantry? First off, sugar's natural structure makes it incredibly stable. Microbial growth? Not going to happen. Its lack of water content makes it impossible for bacteria or mold to survive. Sugar is nature's way of saying, I've got your back for the long haul. You may notice it hardens over time, forming clumps that look like they belong in a geology class. Guess what? You just break up those clumps and it's good as new. Its usability does not diminish, no matter how long it sits in storage. Like salt, sugar's shelf life is indefinite. Store it tightly sealed and away from moisture, and it will remain perfectly usable for decades. Yes, decades. Got a brick of hardened sugar? No problem. Smash it, grind it, or just dissolve it in water. It's as good as the day you bought it. Just don't leave it around unsealed because moisture can cause clumping and pests like ants won't hesitate to storm your stash. Sugar adds more than just a little sweetness to life. It's a calorie-dense resource, making it a crucial energy source during tough times. Think about it. When food is scarce and energy is precious, sugar can give you the quick caloric boost you need to power through. It's not glamorous, but it's effective. And when you're rationing every bit of food, anything effective earns its keep. Here's the takeaway. Sugar may be simple. Its simplicity is its strength. It doesn't spoil, packs a ton of energy, and can stretch your survival rations that much further. Don't overlook it. Stock up, store smart, and count on it to have your back when things go south. Breeder, honey, nature's eternal superfood. When it comes to survival foods, honey reigns supreme. This isn't just because it's sweet or delicious, though that certainly helps. Honey is a scientific marvel, a natural concoction that lasts literally forever. If you think that's an exaggeration, think again. Archaeologists have found pots of honey buried in ancient tombs, thousands of years old, that are still edible. Not just safe to eat, but actually tasty. What other food does that? None. Honey's secret lies in its chemical makeup. First off, it's incredibly low in moisture. Microorganisms simply can't survive in it. Add to that its high acidity, and you've got a hostile environment for anything that could spoil it. Oh, and did I mention it's antimicrobial? This stuff doesn't just resist bacteria, it actively kills it. That's why honey has been used for centuries to treat wounds and infections. It's a sweetener and a natural remedy bundled into one magical jar. Like salt and sugar, honey requires almost no effort to store, but you do need to take care of it. Keep it in a tightly sealed container away from moisture and it'll outlast you. Sure, it might crystallize over time, but that's not spoilage, it's just a natural process. Heat it gently, and it's as smooth and golden as the day you bought it. Know this now before you end up throwing away perfectly good honey just because you don't understand how it works. Honey isn't just a luxury in a survival situation. It's a legitimate resource. It doesn't just make boring foods palatable, it also provides quick, natural energy. And, unlike sugar, it comes with added health benefits thanks to its vitamins, enzymes, and antioxidants. When you're battling scarcity and unpredictability, honey can make a real difference, not just for your physical health, but for your morale. If you haven't already, stockpile honey. It's not just a food, it's a tool for survival. No expiration date, tons of uses, and a proven track record that stretches back thousands of years. Ignore its power, and you're doing yourself a disservice. 4. Canned meat, your protein lifeline in a crisis. Canned meat is the unsung hero of emergency preparedness. If you're ignoring it, you're playing with fire when it comes to security. It's not flashy or exciting, but it's a powerhouse food that delivers critical protein and nutrients when you need them the most. Whether it's beef, chicken, pork, or even the much-maligned Spam, canned meat is a non-negotiable item for survival. Why? Because it's reliable, shelf-stable, and always ready to step up when fresh options are gone. The secret behind canned meat's longevity lies in its processing. The high-heat canning process eliminates bacteria and locks out oxygen, creating an environment where spoilage is practically impossible. Sure, the taste and texture might not rival a fresh steak off the grill, but wake up. When survival is on the line, who cares about gourmet? The nutrition remains intact, giving you the protein you need to maintain strength, energy, and focus during a crisis. However, canned meat does have a small catch. If you don't store it properly or inspect its condition, it's useless. Dented, bulging, rusty, or broken sealed cans can spell trouble. They're red flags for contamination, and you don't want to mess with that. Store your cans in a cool, dry spot and give them a once-over before you crack them open. Simple vigilance ensures they stay as good as they should be. Canned meat is also versatile. Mix it with rice or pasta, throw it in soups, or eat it straight out of the can. When there's no fridge, stove, or convenience, these cans can deliver life-saving meals with minimal effort. They're lightweight for transporting if needed and fit neatly into any pantry or emergency kit. When things fall apart, having a shelf full of canned meat can make all the difference. It lasts, it fuels, and it can mean the difference between thriving and barely hanging on. Skip it, and you're gambling on your own survival. 5. White rice, the king of long-term carbohydrates. White rice is hands down one of the most practical and essential survival foods you need in your stash. Not having this in your pantry? That's a rookie mistake you can't afford to make. White rice is everything you need in a survival food. Calorie-rich, easy to store, and built to last for decades. It's cheap, it's efficient, it doesn't get more straightforward than this. Here's what makes white rice unbeatable. It's light, calorie-dense, and easy to prepare. A small handful of rice goes a long way, providing enough energy to keep you moving when the chips are down. You can cook it with minimal resources, making it perfect for emergencies where fuel and water might be limited. Rice doesn't need fancy prep work or extra ingredients to make it edible, which is a huge advantage when you're short on options. Now don't confuse white rice with brown rice. That's a rookie mistake. Brown rice might look healthier on the surface, but it comes with a fatal flaw for long-term storage. Its oil content. The oils in brown rice go rancid over time, drastically shortening its shelf life. White rice, however, is stripped of those oils, meaning it can last for decades if stored correctly. Brown rice will betray you after a year. White rice will outlast you. It's that simple. Storage for white rice is straightforward but mandatory. Airtight containers are a must. You also need to keep it in a cool, dry environment, free from pests and humidity. Invest in some decent storage. If bugs get in or it's exposed to moisture, you'll regret skimping. Properly stored, white rice can sit on your shelf for 30 years or more without batting an eye. Think about the versatility, too. Rice can act as a base for almost anything, from canned meats to vegetables, seasonings, and even sugar or honey for a quick, energy-packed twist. It stretches meals, making your supplies last longer without compromising nutrition. White rice isn't up for debate. Stock it, store it properly, and rely on it as your long-term lifeline when everything else is falling apart. It's straightforward survival math. 6. Dry pasta. A starch that doesn't quit. Dry pasta isn't just a convenience food, it's a survival staple. If you're skipping pasta while planning your emergency supplies, you're sabotaging your own preparedness. This isn't just food for carb loading, it's a simple, long-lasting, and versatile source of energy that could save your life. Whether it's spaghetti, macaroni, or shells, stockpiling dry pasta is a decision you'll thank yourself for when the time comes. Why does pasta belong in your survival stash? For starters, it's made up of just 2 basic ingredients, semolina flour and water. That's it. No oils, no perishables, nothing that invites spoilage. Its low moisture content makes it practically immune to going bad, as long as you know how to store it. If you're smart enough to stash it in airtight containers and keep it in a dry, dark area, it'll stay edible for years, many years, even upward of a decade in the right conditions. One of pasta's biggest strengths is its versatility. It adapts to almost any meal. Got some canned meat or a few random spices left in your cupboard? Cook up some pasta. Throw ingredients together and suddenly you've got a filling meal. Even when you're down to scraping the bare minimum, pasta can stretch whatever's left in your supply long enough to keep you fighting. Worst case scenario, you boil it plain. It still delivers the calories and energy you need. The ease of preparation is another huge win for pasta. Boil water, toss it in, and you're good. Compare that to foods that demand complicated or resource-heavy cooking processes, and it's clear why pasta is such a valuable addition to your stockpile. Just like rice, proper storage is non-negotiable. Airtight containers are your best bet. Darkness is ideal because light exposure can weaken packaging over time. And don't stick it somewhere humid or you risk a moldy mess. Stored correctly, you'll find that pasta doesn't just survive the years, it practically defies them. Pasta is cheap, it's filling, and it lasts forever with minimal effort. When supplies are running low or gone altogether, you'll be glad you had the foresight to load up on this dependable, versatile, and shelf-stable food. 7. Dry beans, the nutritional powerhouse that won't quit. If you don't have dry beans stockpiled, you're making a colossal mistake. These humble legumes aren't just pantry staples, they're nutritional lifesavers. When push comes to shove, dry beans are an unmatched source of protein, fiber, iron, and essential vitamins. They're cheap, versatile, and boast an almost mythical shelf life. Simply put, beans are as close to a perfect survival food as you're going to get. Nutritionally, dry beans are pure gold. Protein is king when it comes to survival, and beans are loaded with it, making them an excellent meat alternative when fresh sources aren't available. They're also incredible sources of fiber, which is critical for keeping your digestive system functioning when you're living off stored food or dealing with high-stress survival scenarios. Add in iron and vitamins, and you've got a food that not only keeps you alive, but keeps you functioning at peak performance. But just because beans are tough doesn't mean you can store them haphazardly. Get sloppy, and you'll lose them to pests, moisture, or contamination. Fully dried beans are what you want, free of excess moisture and stored with care. The smartest move is to pack them in Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers. This creates an environment where pests and spoilage have zero chance. Store those sealed bags in a cool, dark place, and you can keep those beans good for up to 3 decades or longer. That's right, decades. Even if beans harden over time, don't freak out. Hardened beans aren't spoiled, they just take a little more time and effort to prepare. Give them a good soak, preferably overnight, and they'll cook up just fine. Whether you're making a simple bean soup or bulking out another meal, they're versatile enough to keep you from getting bored, even in a long-haul emergency. If you think dry beans are just some peasant food, wake up. Stockpile them now. They're nutritious, filling, and virtually indestructible when stored correctly. When the chips are down, your stash of beans could be the difference between surviving and suffering. Canned fruits and vegetables. Fresh produce is a long-term substitute. Fresh produce is great, but it's gone the moment things go sideways. That's where canned fruits and vegetables step in to save the day. They aren't fancy, but they're life-saving when fresh options disappear. These cans are a lifeline, providing the vitamins and nutrients you need to stay afloat in any situation. If you're not hoarding some, you're setting yourself up for a nutrient deficiency waiting to happen. Canned fruits and vegetables are underestimated, and it's absurd. They offer a critical bridge to good nutrition when fresh produce is no longer an option. Packed with essential vitamins like C and A, they help keep your immune system functional, which is crucial when medical help might not be readily available. Plus, they're pre-cooked in the canning process, so they're ready to eat straight out of the container. It doesn't get more convenient than that when time and resources are tight. However, not all canned goods are created equal, and you need to store them right if they're going to last. Rule number 1, check the cans. Swelling, rust, or busted seals are all signs of failure, and you cannot risk eating compromised food. Such negligence could saddle you with food poisoning at the worst possible time. Keep the cans in a cool, dry space, away from any moisture or heat sources that could mess them up. When stored properly, most canned goods last years beyond their best-buy date. Be aware that over time, flavor and texture might diminish. That crisp vegetable snap or juicy fruit tenderness, it'll likely fade. But here's the thing that matters most. The nutrition stays put. Even a soggy canned peach or limp green bean still holds the vitamins that keep you going when the world's falling apart. It isn't about luxury, it's about survival. Bottom line, don't skip out on canned fruits and veggies. They're simple, effective, and a critical addition to any well-rounded survival stash. When fresh isn't an option, these cans become your nutritional safety net. Skip them, and you'll be starving for vitamins faster than you think. 9. Alcohol and hard liquor. More than a drink. When you think about survival, alcohol might not immediately come to mind. That's a big mistake, because certain kinds of hard liquor, like vodka and whiskey, are multi-purpose lifesavers. You might scoff, thinking it's just a vice. But sealed bottles of high-proof liquor offer value way beyond the occasional stiff drink. Don't underestimate its power in a long-term survival scenario. First, yes, alcohol can be a drink, and sometimes that's necessary for morale. But in a survival situation, liquor's uses go far beyond a quick buzz. High-proof alcohol is excellent for disinfecting wounds when medical-grade supplies are out of reach. You can sanitize tools, clean surfaces, and even prevent infections in a pinch. Plus, alcohol can help sterilize water by working as an additive. It's a multi-tool in a bottle. Alcohol is also an excellent barter item. When chaos reigns and conventional currency takes a back seat, tangible goods become trade. Yet, not everyone has the foresight to stock up. A bottle of vodka could get you food, gear, or favors when times get desperate. Its long shelf life ensures it remains valuable, especially if sealed tightly and stored in a controlled environment like a cool pantry or cellar. Another often overlooked use is temperature regulation. Alcohol can be used in certain makeshift heating systems, and in cold conditions it can help preserve body heat, though drinking it for this purpose is risky. It also serves as a solvent for creating tinctures, herbal remedies, and other medical aids if you know your way around them. Here's the ultimate argument for keeping alcohol in your stockpile. It doesn't expire. That's right, hard liquor sits on the shelf indefinitely if it's sealed properly. No spoilage threat, no diminishing returns. Whether for healing, bartering, or even as an emotional pick-me-up, it earns its space in your stash. If you think liquor is just about cocktails, think again. Stock up on the hard stuff now while it's affordable and available. Trust me, when this stuff becomes scarce or outrageously overpriced, you'll be glad you planned ahead. 10. Rolled oats. The reliable energy source you can't overlook. If rolled oats aren't already in your survival stash, you're seriously dropping the ball. These little flakes of nutritional goodness are lightweight, compact, and loaded with slow-releasing energy that keeps you fueled for the long haul. Rolled oats are the definition of practicality in a crisis. They're cheap, easy to store, and ridiculously versatile. And whether you're scrambling to whip something up for breakfast or need a filler for emergency rations, oats bring serious efficiency to the table. Why should you trust rolled oats to pull their weight in an emergency? Energy. These things are packed with complex carbohydrates, which means they release energy gradually instead of giving you a fast crash like sugary junk foods. When you're on edge, rationing supplies, or just need to keep moving, slow-burning carbs will become your best ally. On top of that, oats come with fiber, which helps with digestion, keeping your system operating smoothly under stress. You can't say that for a lot of survival foods in your stash. Storage is simple, but don't half-ass it. Rolled oats need to be kept in sealed containers, ideally with oxygen absorbers to keep the air out. Exposure to moisture or pests? Forget it. You've just ruined a perfectly good stock of long-lasting food. Keep them dry, cool, and airtight, and oats can stay good for decades. We're not talking a year or two, decades. That's the kind of longevity that separates mediocre preps from smart planning. Versatility is where oats really shine. Got water or milk? Boom, instant porridge. Want to bake? Oats are great for everything from emergency pancakes to energy bars. Need something to bulk out a meal? Toss in some oats to stretch your ingredients and keep people full for longer. Oats don't just sit on your shelf taking up space. They actively make your emergency diet more manageable. Rolled oats are no-nonsense survival food. They're lightweight, calorie-packed, and won't fail you when things get tough. If you don't stock up on them now, don't come crying when your energy drops and your options run out. 11. Powdered milk, the lifesaver in a can. Powdered milk doesn't win any popularity contests, but when survival gets real, this unsung hero will do more for you than you think. Long-lasting, compact, and packed with critical nutrients like protein, calcium, and fats, powdered milk is the ultimate multi-tool in the world of emergency foods. If you're the type to overlook it thinking you'll be fine without, think again. You'll regret not having this powerhouse on your shelf. Here's the deal. Fresh milk is nice, but guess what? It's useless when refrigeration fails, or it spoils faster than you can use it. Powdered milk, on the other hand, has your back. It provides the same nutritional punch as fresh milk without requiring the luxury of refrigeration. Whether you need protein to maintain muscle, calcium to keep your bones strong, or fats to stay energized, powdered milk covers all the critical bases. Storage is straightforward. Keep it sealed in an airtight container, away from light and moisture, and it'll last for years. The actual lifespan depends on the fat content and how it's packaged, but you're looking at a solid decade of usability if stored correctly. Don't play fast and loose with storage, though. Once exposed to air and moisture, it's game over for your powdered gold. Do yourself a favor and follow the instructions. What makes powdered milk indispensable is its flexibility. You can reconstitute it with water for drinking or use it in cooking and baking. Need milk for emergency pancakes, bread, or a hearty stew? This stuff steps in without skipping a beat. It's the perfect ingredient to soften an otherwise monotonous survival diet. It doesn't just keep you alive, it adds some normalcy to meals in a world gone sideways. Ignore powdered milk and you're doing yourself a disservice. It's practical, long-lasting, and critically nutritious. Stock up now and forget about the smug thoughts of, I won't need it. Trust me, when the day comes, you'll be glad you listened. 12. Powdered eggs, your protein partner for survival. If you're planning on riding out a crisis munching crackers and canned beans, you're in for a rough ride. Enter powdered eggs, the protein-packed option that transforms your emergency stash from bare-bones survival to something that feels more like a normal diet. Powdered eggs might not be magazine cover material, but they're your secret weapon when variety and nutrition are non-negotiable. Why bother with powdered eggs? For starters, they bring much-needed protein to your meals while also contributing essential vitamins like B12. Protein isn't just a nice-to-have in tough times, it's essential for maintaining muscle and staying sharp when every calorie counts. Unlike their fresh counterparts, powdered eggs don't need refrigeration, which makes them ideal when electricity is a distant memory. They're practical, they're long-lasting, and they add a dimension to your meal that boring rehydrated carbs alone can't. Shelf life is another major win. Unopened powdered eggs can go strong for 5-10 years, provided they're stored properly. Once you break the seal, you've got about a month to use them up. Don't get lazy with storage. You've got to keep them in a cool, dry place, sealed away from moisture or pests. Treat them right, and they'll be there when you need them most. When it comes to versatility, powdered eggs pull their weight and then some. You can scramble them up for a quick protein fix or mix them into baked goods to add texture and flavor. Whatever meal creativity you've got left in you during a crisis, powdered eggs support it. They're not just a filler, they bring balance and variety to a pressured diet. Here's the reality. Survival isn't the time for food snobbery. Powdered eggs might not have the luxurious feel of the fresh stuff, but who cares? When resources are scarce and your energy is running low, they're the solution you'll be thankful for. Stock them now. Trust me, you'll need their versatility and nutrition when the chips are down.